Hey, welcome to Scot Ferrell Show. Thanks so much for dropping by. Got a great show today. Well, I'm going to say that anyway because it's my show, so why shouldn't I? We are going to talk about fathers. Got a holiday coming up. We got Father's Day. Why shouldn't I talk about fathers? And talk about, one, what we're getting wrong and how to get it right, basically. Now, before we get started, remember Dirt Poor is the one thing that keeps me fueled for shows. If you're ever in downtown Summerville, Georgia, beautiful town, nice people, so much we liked it, so we've moved to the area. We don't live in Summerville, but we do come here for coffee. Heather and her staff are fabulous. The other day they started carrying sausage balls, some of the best I've had. It seems like the only time you get sausage balls now are at church covered dishes or from old ladies in their 80s. So we need people to make these. They make great ones, great muffins, some of the best chicken salad I've had. But the coffee is absolutely amazing, fresh from Costa Rica. So you get a chance to come through Summerville, Georgia. Go in and see Heather and her staff. The girls are lovely. Great place to hang out and get some work done. All right, let's get into today's topic. Sometimes I'm at loss of words to talk about dads or fathers or Father's Day because I see a lot going wrong in our society. How do we normally judge fathers? Well, we judge them by society. What's happening right now in current day that can be traced back to the breakdown of the family or having no fathers? And probably a week or two ago, I went over the statistics of out-of-wedlock births. Whether it's in the black community, it's a little north of 70%. Latin, I think, is north of 60%. And then the white community, it depends on which journal you read. It's 25% to 50%, depending on who wrote the journal and what perspective. So that being said, we got a lot of work to do. Because the family unit's breaking down, we're breaking down as a country. Countries can only survive based on the family unit. If you don't have a unit, your country can't survive. Ask Rome, ask Greece, ask any of the huge societies that were thriving once upon a time. Now we're at 250 years of our country. Just celebrated that at the White House with the UFC 250 celebration. Cool fight. Cool thing to do at the White House. Probably never do it again, but it was really cool. And we're allowing the family to be destroyed. Okay, why? Well, when baby boomers took over, it seems like we decided to not do our job. I don't know. Where did we go wrong? Why did we stop teaching that family is an important part? Mom and dads are important. We've replaced that with government. Why? Well, fathers stopped doing their jobs. It seems to be traceable back to the Great Society in 1965, where they signed the civil rights legislation, and as soon as they did that, they figured out how to destroy the family. Ever since then, 6 generations, they've been able to take a piece, and now look where we are. We're in a country, we have huge cities, look at New York City. Nothing going right in New York City because they had the stupidity to elect a socialist/communist who wants disorder, chaos, confusion, and then wants illegals to have everything, and then people who are born citizens of this country to have nothing. Okay, so that's not going to work. So what are our current day issues that would make me believe dads or fathers aren't doing their job? Not the same thing. Crime's up. Crime's through the roof. Most liberal cities have crime that's off the chain. Go to Seattle, go to LA, go to Chicago, go to New York City, go to Savannah, go to Atlanta, go to Albany, how do they say it in Georgia? I know I'm saying it wrong. I say every town, it seems like, wrong. We have a town close to where we do the show called Lafayette, but it's spelled Lafayette. So I'm learning all the towns around here and how to say them. And boy, do you say it wrong, they really get on you. But crime's up in every major liberal city and above traditional numbers all over the country. Why? Fathers aren't doing their job. They're not teaching their kids. They're not teaching them everything it takes to be a man or a grown woman. We've got rape up. Now, a lot of that's illegal. 64% of all crime in the United States to this date is done by illegals who are not supposed to be here. That's why ICE could get these people out of there. Drugs are up, alcohol's up, date rape's up. I used to teach at the high school in Georgia that had the distinction for the highest date rape occurrence in the state of Georgia. Won't use the name, but that was interesting when we got that study. And it was supposed to be a good high school. And now we've got parents, and I see this all the time, we've got parents wanting to be friends with their kids, not be parents. What do I mean by that? Moms and dads, a lot of times, we see moms dressing like their kids. We see dads dressing like the kids. We see dads wanting to be cool instead of having authority. They want to pal around with their kids instead of telling their kids how to act. Let me help you out here, guys. Your kids have plenty of friends. They don't need you to be one. They need you to be dad first. And then, normally, we become friends with our kids when they get out of the house. They go, oh, okay, I got why he did that, or why he did that, or I get this now. And then we have daddy ball, which I've talked about this ad nauseum a lot of times, to where, yeah, okay, dads have to step up and coach their kids' teams a lot of times because there's nobody else to do it. When I was playing in the 70s, we had outside business leaders who were coaches, not necessarily our dads. And then they'd been coaching for years, and they were ball players, and they would teach us. And I don't see that external father now. I only see dads having to do it now. I don't know what happened with that, but we see a lot of dads who want to make their kids sports figures, even though they weren't, or maybe they got to a certain level in sports, but now they're taking over and trying to relive their childhood through their kids. Well, that's a really bad idea. What you do is you end up producing Shedeur Sanders. What do I mean by that? Well, poor Shedeur never got to fail on his own. He only played for his father, high school, middle school, high school, college. Now he's in the pros, and he doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know how to survive. Now, apparently he's having a pretty good training camp, but his father won't back off. He won't shut his mouth, and he's hurting his own son's career. I don't know the kid. I do know some people that know him, but I don't personally know him. I've never met him. But apparently he's a hard worker, but his father can't shut his mouth, which is hurting his opportunities in the NFL. Looks like this year he's going to get a shot. Hopefully Deion will be smart enough to shut his mouth because he ruined the other kid. Too many daddies out there trying to relive their childhood through their kids. What we noticed when I was still coaching high school, by the age of 13, most kids have had enough and didn't want to play anymore. I remember one year, I think our top 8, last team I was associated with, all got full rides. All of them had the opportunity to go and either play D1 or D2. And I think that one year, only one took it. Now, major D1 player. But the rest of them passed. And we had, on that team, boys, not girls, boys, we probably had 6 or 7 D1 players. Now, where I coached in Gwinnett County, that was the norm. I had never seen talent like I saw in Gwinnett County between the years of 1997 and 06. Unmatched. Oh my gosh, was there talent in that region. Fast forward 20 years, they still got a lot of talent there. But I'd never seen anything like that. And we've got these daddies pushing these kids, and therefore our kids didn't want to do it anymore. Here's an idea, and this is what we did when I was a kid. Play as many sports as you want. Don't specialize in one. Play football, basketball, baseball, whatever you want to do. Be well-rounded and have some fun. We've managed to take all the fun out of sports, playing daddy ball and travel ball and forcing these kids to do things they don't want to do, all because we like to travel, we like the families, we like the drinking, we like all the stuff. I walked by a dugout one day. Kids are 8, right? I was still eating dirt when I was 8, I think. The kids had a full-size poster on the dugout. They had all bags with their names on it. They're 8. Custom-made bats, custom-made uniforms. They're 8. Come on, guys. They're 8. And I see people watching film of kids who are 8. Just teach them to have fun. Teach them to enjoy the sport. Teach them the fundamentals. Who cares if you win? You can save that for high school for when it really matters. I didn't care if I won at that level. I wanted the kids to enjoy it. I wanted them to learn how to play. In my coaching career, I coached community ball, church ball, middle school, junior high, and high school. I've covered the gamut, got to do college camps, got to hang out with the pros. I was blessed as a coach. At no time did I try to relive my childhood through my players. I'm short. Basketball was not my future. The only thing I was ever going to be able to do was coach. So guys, lighten up on the kids. Let them have their experience. Stop trying to live your experience through them. All you're going to do is end up with a rebellious child who doesn't want to do anything. And we're seeing kids quit in record numbers and now add in NIL. NIL was supposed to be name, image, and likeness. Now it's just collectives trying to buy players. Why don't we take it back to NIL, name, image, and likeness? I always thought the kids should be paid. I've been banging that gong since the 80s. Finally, it's happened, and now there's no collective bargaining agreement. Now anybody can raise any amount of money. It's gotten out of hand. And now we're handing kids $5, $6, $7 million. We're not ready to use it. They're not ready to step in the limelight. And we're getting ready to destroy sports for kids. This is all because guys want to play daddy ball. They want to live through their kids. And now they're trying to use their kids for money. Not cool. All right, I'll get off sports and I'll get on to something else. And now we're seeing sexual abuse rise, physical abuse rise. We're seeing alcohol and drug abuse like we've never seen it. Why? We've managed to raise a society of kids who have nothing. They have more material goods than they've ever had. They've had more information via this than they've ever had. They have more availability of information than they've ever had, that we ever had. And they're most unfulfilled, unhappy, depressed, withdrawn group of kids I've ever seen. Why? We've allowed government and we've allowed technology, we've allowed AI, we've allowed video games to take the place of real family love. What do I mean? The other day I was just out eating with my wife. I looked over at the table next door to us. I looked up and saw the father. He was with his kids. They weren't talking. They were all on separate devices, not mingling, waiting on the food. So, no conversation, no banter, nothing, just in their own worlds. And then I started to look around. Father with his wife and kids, he's doing something on his phone. The three of them are talking. You look around and almost every father's on their phone, not addressing their kids or their wives. And we wonder what's happened. We wonder why drug and alcohol abuse are up. We wonder why sexual abuse is up. We wonder why kids are withdrawn or the fathers are withdrawn. We wonder why our whole world's going to hell. Well, we got an epidemic of Peter Pan, and I get this from ladies. We have this epidemic of grown-up men still acting like they're kids. If you don't know the story of Peter Pan, the lost boys didn't grow up. We've got an entire generation, millennials, of lost boys who are trying to, stay mired, stuck, positioned in their own childhood to not to grow up. I remember being a kid. I didn't really want it. I wanted to grow up. I didn't like my situation. I felt like if I was an adult, I could change that. So I wanted out of the house. I wanted to go make my own life. I wanted to go do something. Now we have kids raising kids to where the men are stuck in some form of adolescence, not progressing. Maturation used to be by the time you were 13, you were a man. That's not what we're seeing now. We're seeing maturation schedules stunted. So we have 18-year-olds acting like 13-year-olds. So maybe by the time they're 26, 27, they've learned how to be a man. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing a lot of these guys stunted. Why? What caused it? Well, we men, not being in the home or making women raise the kids, because now we have something north of 13 million single moms in the United States. I would probably say it's higher. That's done from the last census. We got a new one coming up in a few years, so we'll see. Men aren't there to teach kids how to act, to teach kids how to work, teach kids respect, give the kids their self-concept, their self-esteem. Give them the guardrails for life. Now we're seeing what life in the United States is like with our guardrails. Look at all these marches. Well, they're all paid, but why are they out there? Because they didn't have anybody give them guardrails. They think it's okay to just go make money, terrorize ICE, terrorize the government, terrorize Christians, terrorize people like me who preach against all this. for money. It's not okay, but they don't have anybody to tell them that. Look at any rap video. Look at any neighborhood that's lower economic standard. There aren't any men in the homes to teach these kids how to act. So therefore, we've got Lord of the Flies. We have a group of kids trying to govern kids on how to act, and it's not working. And then in certain segments of society, we've thrown the whole rule book out, and we've told kids it's okay to act on your feelings, to act on how you feel, do what you want. If you want to kill somebody, that's your truth. That's how you feel, just go ahead and do it. Well, that's not working. It's about time guys came back and decided to be men. The problem is, my generation didn't teach these boys how to act. For some reason, we thought our parents got it wrong. We wanted our kids to have it easier than we had, and we made it so easy that they didn't know how to do anything. So now we have Y and Z not knowing how to be adults, not knowing how to dress. Just go to Walmart. How many people have gone to a Walmart, raise your hand, I can raise mine, that see people in their pajamas at Walmart, or see girls walking around college campuses in their pajamas? I saw a kid one day in a onesie going to class. Now, as I was in college, that would not have been allowed. You would have been struck from that class and you would have been sent back to your dorm. Not anymore. There is no standard because there aren't any standards, so therefore there is no standard. Therefore, people feel like they can do, say, act, dress the way they want to. And everybody in society is supposed to not notice the emperor doesn't have clothes. Why? We let the matriarch take over, and the patriarchal just stepped out of the way and let the women do what they felt they should do. So now we have feminized kids, boys, who want to react in emotion, not in discipline. They don't have a work ethic. Yeah, Gen Z doesn't have a work ethic. They don't understand what it's like to go to work. It's funny, I remember seeing the commercial where the girl's standing, a young girl's talking to older ladies in a boardroom, and she's going, well, I hope you guys have a good summer. I'll see you guys in the fall when we get back. And the two ladies go, what are you talking about? Well, don't we go on summer vacation now? No, the next vacation we get is retirement. What are you talking about? You mean we don't get the next 2 months off? We have to work through the summer? I've done interviews to where that could be true. So you have to instruct people what to do. All right, guys, go ahead and give me some memes so we can go ahead and start on these memes. They're pretty funny. All right, look at this meme. It cracks me up seeing Machete, one of the coolest guys in Hollywood with a wig on. When someone says, oh my gosh, you look like your dad, what we would say is, she's a rather handsome woman. But we've got dads that look like this now. I know guys that went home. Their dad was a man when he got home, and when he got home, he was no longer a man. He was living as a woman. I know guys that have had to go through this, and they didn't handle it very well. It'd be kind of startling, if you're one of your parents changed teams, and this team was the team they were on, and now they're on a different team, kind of like in Friends when Ross's dad ended up changing to a woman. Interesting. All right, let me have the next one. That's my dad. That was my father. 32% of your job as a dad is to stare at your kids like this until they act right. Wow, did my dad have the stare. My dad had a stare to where it even frightened the kids in the neighborhood. If you got that stare from my father, you had 0.3 seconds to get your act together. It's funny because my dad never laid a hand on me my whole childhood. He didn't have to. I respected my dad. When I saw that, you better cut it out because I understood that my dad was good for it. See, kids now don't understand that stare and that dads are good for it. I'm watching parenting all the time. It's this gentle parenting that doesn't work. Oh, no. Kids need direction, and they need it from dad, and they need it immediately. Remember, any behavior ignored is behavior condoned. Any behavior you ignore will be repeated. Any behavior you intercede on and stop will stop. We have the ability to stop anything that we want to stop. It's just a matter of choice. All right, let me have the next one. Okay, son. All right, not yet. We still haven't found anyone who wants you. So, was I adopted? No, we haven't found anybody that wants you. Oh, boy, this rings of my childhood, actually. But have you ever felt that way with your kids to where if you could put an ad in the paper today for them to be adopted, would you let somebody come and get them? I run into a lot of family members who come to talk to me as a pastor that have reached this point, and I always look at them and go, okay, where did they learn how to display these behaviors? Why are they acting this way? Why are they being disrespectful? Why are they acting up at school? Why are they not doing their schoolwork? Why are they not showing for work? Why are they not doing their chores? Why are they doing this? And then I'll always go, hey, do me a favor. Go in the bathroom and look in the mirror, and the person you need to be mad at, you're going to see in the mirror. It's you. You have to be mad at you because you're the reason this happened. Okay, so it's so funny where we film. We have people that like to blare music sometimes, and so it just bleeds through. So it's funny where we're located downtown. We're at a stoplight. So forgive any echo of music you hear now. It used to be at a TV show that met in downtown, and we had a train track close to the TV show. So we would be doing live remotes every Friday, and we would get a train through our TV show. So we learned how to just have fun with it, just like I do with this. So guy had a nice motorcycle, though. Really nice Harley. I'll give him that. Needs to turn his music down when he's in traffic, though. All right, so let's get back to this. All right, let me have the next one. All right. Bring my daughter back by 8, or I will find you and kill you. Okay, I heard somebody talk about these movies one time. By movie 3, you would somewhat think that Liam Neeson's not a very good parent because he has to keep hunting his kids down and hunting people down and killing them for stealing his kids. This was me. God bless my niece. I was at my brother's house one time, and she came down in what she was going to wear, and I was like, are you really going to let her go out in this outfit? Because I love my nieces. And my niece is like, Dad, can you get Uncle Scott off me? I'm like, what's that boy? What's his name? And I'm giving her the third degree. And she goes, Dad's already done that. I said, but I haven't. I need to know. And this is how I feel. Little girl, I'll kill you. They'll never find your body if you do something. I was like this with students. At the prom, I always tell those boys, you better treat her right. You never know where I'm going to be standing. But it is true. We've lost some of this. We've lost dads being that guy. I was blessed. I had a father that was that. I was molested as a child. And I could never tell my father what happened to me because I knew my dad would be in an orange jumpsuit immediately after I told him. So, yeah, my dad and I didn't have the best relationship. What we did have, I understood that my dad had my back and that if anything happened to me as a father, my dad would intercede on my behalf, and it was not going to turn out well. So I had to be careful what I told. But now we've got guys not defending their family, not standing up for their wives, not taking care of their kids, not handling their responsibility. That's a problem. Yeah, I know with me, I have a checkered past. I used to be a drug addict. I was an alcoholic. I was extremely violent. I worked for Satan. And during that time, I had a child out of wedlock. Full disclosure. Was I perfect? No. Has that caused problems to this day? I'm in my 60s. Yes. A few years back, I got to meet him when he was 12. I didn't know. I was so drugged out. I had no idea what was going on. I don't remember much about the 80s. I don't remember much. My memory seems to stop around 1977, and then picks up somewhere in the late 90s. I've forgotten a lot about college and high school and don't remember much. But apparently I had a child, met him when he was 12, got a letter in the mail. Oh, by the way, you have a son. I was elated when I met him. Carbon copy of me, good and bad, I guess. Had the same interests as I did, everything. Looked like me. Thank God he looks way better than me now. Bless him. Looks like his mother. But we no longer have a relationship. Why? Okay, let's look through this. I'm telling the story different than I normally tell it because I want to go back and forth. Remember, our kids program 0 to 7. So everything that your 5 senses absorb from 0 to 7 is who you end up being. And all of the behaviors you've seen displayed are the ones you will display later. I wasn't there. I didn't show up till he was 12. Okay? So therefore, as a human, as far as displayable behaviors, he's intact. Grandma, grandpa, thank God he had good grandparents. His mom, his stepdad, were all there. I was too late. I had nothing to do with his programming. I was just an addition by the time he was 12. And I was there. I mean, I lived in Atlanta. He lived in another town in North Carolina. So I could not be there all the time. Plus, I was coaching 2 sports. And, when I'm working 90 hours a week, you don't have time to drive to North Carolina. But I would drive up, get his report card, go see him, take him out to dinner. So I would coach, go get his report card in North Carolina, 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive, take him to dinner, leave that town at like 12:30 at night, drive back to Georgia, catch a shower, go back to work. A lot of nights I never even got to go to bed. And I did that for 6 years. He graduates, stayed with me for a little while, and then went on his merry way and has been very, very, very successful. But one day he sent me a message. I don't even think I spoke to him. I think he left me a message on voicemail and said, basically, I don't want to have anything to do with you. I don't believe that you don't remember, which I still don't. That's actually been proven now by the Brain Center. Me having a TBI really did affect a lot. And I'm still going through brain therapy at the Georgia Chiropractic Neurology Center in Marietta, Georgia. And they're helping me quite a bit. Have I gotten my memory back? No. But I've gotten physical function back, which is a plus, because I have a lot of brain damage that we're fixing from drugs, from physical things, you name it. I've got some issues, and I don't remember any of it. I don't remember half of high school. It's not there. Now, that's the truth. We don't have a relationship. I would like one, but if he doesn't want one with me, I understand. I wasn't part of his program. You have to understand something. Since I was not there during the imprint, I'm an add-on. I'm a later being that's interjected into the life. Okay, just because I wasn't there, I forfeit rights to things. That is true. And since our lives don't gel and I'm an add-on, then sometimes the add-on then gets to stay. Okay, I did get to raise another child, my wife's son. He's 27 now. So I did get to be a dad. I just didn't get to be a dad there in the traditional way. Whose fault's that? Mine. Nobody told me to have sex with that woman. Nobody told me to do all those drugs and all the alcohol and lose all my memories and all that stuff. That's on me. I caused every one of those problems. And I was lucky enough to have a pastor who pointed that out in very poignant ways. And I had a mentor to help me work through everything. Now, no, I don't have my memory back. I wish I could get some of it back. I still look at photos and don't know who those people are, even though I was apparently very close with these people. But it is what it is. I can't change the past. I can only go forward. Now, did I get it right after that? Yeah. Actually, guys, listen up. Because I was such a despicable human being one time, I went and asked ex-girlfriends who didn't try to kill me and would talk to me. I asked them to sit down with me and tell me every single bad thing there was about me. Now, guys, it takes a lot of bravery to do that because, trust me, when you go back to ex-girlfriends who want to have you killed, they have a lot of venom and a lot of anger, and they want to get it out. So I just took a pad and pencil, didn't say a word, just let them talk. Let them get it out. They thanked me for the closure. Apparently, I was horrible. Nobody liked me. And I didn't really like myself either, so that was comforting to know that I felt the same way they did. But I wrote it all out, and it was multiple pages. And I said, okay, I'm going to take everything they say as being the gospel truth. They're right, I'm wrong. I got to fix this. I'm despicable. I don't want to live the rest of my life like this. I'd like to be a good father, be a good husband, be a good member of society, be a contributing member of society. I got to fix this. So I wrote out the exact opposite of what I was over here in this column. All right, this is who I have to be. I can't be that guy anymore. I got to be this guy. That's what I did. Well, that guy's despicable and everybody hates him. Now, I still run into the occasional female I haven't talked to in a while, and they still want to have me burned at the stake. But then I go, okay, it's been 45 years. Please forgive, and here's who I am now. Okay, after 45 years, you can cut me some slack. But I realized who was the problem. It's me. Okay, so guys, if you ever want to know who the problem is, being a man, go look in the mirror. It's you. I have to own that bad relationship. I have to own what I did to his mother. I have to own all that. That's on me. Nobody else to blame. It's still me. Now, I can't carry that in every day or I'd never go forward. But I have to acknowledge that's on me. That was caused by me. I did that. And then move on. It's up to me. Don't repeat it. Don't keep doing the same stupid things that you keep doing. Don't repeat it. Now, we know what's going on in the world. Men have caused all these problems letting women take over. I was listening to a comedian the other night, and he said, yeah, if we have all female leaders and we have a female president, vice president, there'll never be any discontent or arguments, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. So what do we need to do as men? How do we change it? How do we get the trajectory of our country going back in the direction that it should? All right. Men need to receive the responsibility. I'm responsible for my family, for my life, for my kids. What do I need to do to take that back? I have to be the man that my wife and kids need to see. If I'm single, I have to be the man that my future wife needs to see and my future kids. I talk to kids all the time, and kids to me is anybody under 40 because I'm in my 60s. But when I say kids now, let's say 18 to 25. And they ask me how to be a success. Well, in business, it's solve a problem, be the best at solving the problem, be irreplaceable. But isn't that in life as a husband too? What's the problem you're solving? Well, you want to be in love, you want to be married, you want your wife to have the ideal husband. That's the problem you're solving. All right, be the best at being that husband and father. And now make yourself so wonderful, you're irreplaceable in the kids' lives and your wife's life. Okay, that's a high standard. That may be a standard that no man listening has heard be set. It's sad because during my time in teaching, I was there almost 25 years in teaching, education. And every year I would ask the kids, and I was lucky enough, I did special needs, I did regular ed, I did gifted. I was all over the board in the classes I was in, thank God, because I got a smattering of everything and every subject. I think as a teacher, I think I taught every single subject. Except Spanish. They didn't let me near foreign languages because I'm awful. And I had 4 years of foreign language. Amazing how I still can't speak Spanish. But in asking the kids, who's your hero? Simple, right? Very simple. All right. What I'm looking for, and the answer is not an athlete, not an actress, not a country music or a pop star. I was looking for mom and dad. Go around the room every year for 20-some years. Who's your hero? All right. Well, I've been around long enough to where it went from Madonna to, it's a lady's name, Doja Cat? Yes. Okay. All right. We have young people here in the studio. They've helped me out with that one. I don't know all the names, but I watched it go from Kool and the Gang to 50 Cent. And now 50 Cent's old, so I don't even know who the next person is. Only 2 kids in 20-plus years ever said their father or their mother. 2. And I would do that every period. So think about it. You got 30 kids. You got 6 classes. 30 times 6, 180 kids a day. And I had 2 out of all those years say their mother or their father. And one of the kids talked about his dad. And I have to, his father's name's Roger. I'm not going to give his last name. The kid's name's Casey. Casey was one of the most wonderful young men I've ever met. He's now a head baseball coach in Georgia. His father's one of the best people I've ever met. And when he said his father was he said idol. I said, I know your dad. He's that hero to a lot of kids. You're blessed to have the father you have. See, he set up his son for success. And now Casey's got kids, got a wife, great kid. Now he's aspiring the next generation of kids in baseball. Winning team, huge high school. All because his father set the standard. So now how do we fix this? All right, Scott, you banged on us enough. Talked about us being Peter Pan and playing video games and not being men and not taking care of our kids. All right. Don't worry, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to give you a solution to this. Number 1. Change you. Number 1, write it down, please. You got a phone, use your thumbs. You know how to do that. Change who you are. Chances are you ain't perfect. I know to find out that I'm not perfect. I know that you're destroyed inside to know that I'm not perfect. I know. But none of us are. So there's improvements we need to make. If you're married, ask your wife. She'll be glad to tell you what you need to improve. Trust me. I'm afraid to ask my wife sometimes. She's got a list. And here I thought she thought I was perfect. Ask your wife, ask your parents, ask people that love you. Don't ask people that don't. If you're a guy, ask your buddies. Anytime you think you're somebody, ask your buddies. They'll tell you you really are. They'll also tell you how to fix stupid things you do. So you can trust your boys. Change you. Write the list. If you have to, call your ex-girlfriends. They'll be glad to rain on your parade. Trust me. I just took what they said as true. I knew it was. I knew I'd done all those things. Maybe I couldn't remember them because I don't remember much of it. But if they said it, it was true. So change you. Now, if you've got a family, if you got kids, assume your responsibility as CEO and chairman. I'm the head of this household, okay? And being head, no different than being CEO. CEOs have to be respected. They can't rule through fear. They have to rule through respect. Because if you've run a company of 10,000 people, what are they afraid of you for? Chances are they're never going to meet you. But if they respect you, they'll get up every day and do what you've asked them to do. And if they can respect the fact that you'll keep this country prosperous, company, and then they can get their paycheck and have their retirement, they're going to do where you lead. Okay? I remember going to Zappos when they first started. Talk about a good CEO at the time. And I got to go sit in the king's chair. If you've ever been to Zappos, you know what I'm talking about. And go to the cafeteria, meet all the employees, and meet all the executives. And it was really cool to see how that machine ran. Now, I don't know who runs it now. It may be an equity firm that does it now. I know he sold out. But what I saw was fabulous, and I wanted to work there. All right, so now you've got kids. Okay, your kids ought to say, I'm glad I'm a member of this family. Like in a company, you want people to say, I'm with this company and I'm glad I work here. Instead of, it's Monday, I hate my job, I hate my boss, I hate the company. I'm just doing this because I got to pay rent. You don't want people to show up for work like that. Now, I've showed up at school like that. My last teaching job was horrible, horrible principal. Great people to work with, though. I had some great people I taught with. Great. Everybody I taught with is now retired. So I don't know what's left there now, but it was a terrible experience, and I left because of that. But now make your kids glad that you are their dad. Give them a reason to be proud of you being their leader. I tell people all the time, do it like the Brady Bunch did it. Mike Brady had a meeting every single week with a white chalkboard then. It was in the 60s and 70s. Like we did, I do those same meetings. I do those for my wife. My wife and I actually have weekly meetings with a whiteboard. And we go over everything. Is she irritated with me? Am I irritated with her? Where are we financially? Where are we business-wise? Because we run companies together. In addition to her having a daytime corporate job. We do this show together. We handle things together. Go over responsibilities as kids. Go over their chore list. Go over what you need them to do. Here's the thing. We should have them from 0 to 18. Should. They shouldn't be living in the basement at 25. Unless, they got help or what. That's different, physically need help. But they should be free. They should know what to do at 18. They should be able to move out, go to college, go to tech school, go to community college, go to work, whatever it is. They should know who they are, where they're going, and what they're going to do. Have no questions about that other than still trying to figure out the end. That's cool. Understand what their skill set is, who they are. Believe in God, believe in Christ. They should have all this as a foundation so by the time they're 18, they're ready to go. There should be no guesswork. Going to college to find yourself is an expensive way to do it at $20,000 to $40,000 a year. Find yourself before you go. Now, if you need a gap year, take it. Travel the world. Why not? You can always go back to school. You can't always have those experiences. Trust me. When you get your 60s, you won't necessarily have the time to be able to do it. Do it now. Do it while you can. I don't have time to travel the world like I'd like to. I got stuff to do. I got a lot of work here in the United States to handle. So teach them who they are, where they're going, what their skill set at, get them out of the nest and get them out there in the world so they can contribute to society. Do that. Now, also, while you have them, teach them you love them. Teach them you're proud of them. Talk to them. Talk about their dreams. Talk about what they want to do. Stop trying to make them live yours. I've never understood the guys who take footballs, basketballs, and baseballs to the hospital when their child's born. What happens if their kid don't like sports? My kid don't like sports. He likes it. He likes to watch it, but he don't want to play. Then what are you going to do? Your kid doesn't want to play the sport that you enjoy. Ask Calvin Hill. Grant Hill, his son, Calvin, basically told him not to play football. Plus, he was 6'8", and he's in the Hall of Fame now. Pretty good basketball player. 2 national championships, one of the best guys who ever played in the NBA till he got hurt, and one of the best collegiate players I've ever seen. And a very successful business owner, owns a piece of the Hawks now. Calvin did what was right by his child, let his child pick, set him up for the future. Are you that father? Are you setting your kids up for success or setting them up for failure? Are they living your dreams or theirs? Are you sending them to camps they don't want to go, or are you sending them to places they do want to go? Are you allowing them to be free to choose, or are you choosing for them? Are you downplaying their dreams because you think they're silly, or are you letting them be free to make their own mistakes? Now, you got to receive the consequences with those mistakes, but it's much better when you let them choose. It's not that hard. Was I devastated when my kid said he didn't want to play sports? No. No, it's his life. What do you want to do? Well, here's what I like. Okay, let's go do that. Man, there's so many adventures out there you can take with your kids, especially based on the stuff they enjoy. It's fun to go do stuff that's a new experience for me. Now, my stepson enjoyed sports, so it was easy for me. He liked baseball, basketball, football, soccer. I mean, he was up for everything. So we had a lot of fun times. Where with my son, we had to do other stuff, which was cool too, because we both like art. He's phenomenal. That was easy for me too. But you have to take charge. You have to let them know who they are. Remember, their self-esteem, self-concept all come from dad. Nurturing, love, etc. come from mom. You have to let them know that they're okay. We've got a lot of kids who are just shell of people. OnlyFans. All right, let's talk about that. I have distinction of being asked to be on OnlyFans before it became porn. It actually was an informational site. I remember when somebody called me and said, hey, man, there's this new thing. Do you want to be on there? Now, if I was on there, people would pay me to put my clothes back on. I'm in my 60s. So what makes OnlyFans possible? People with no self-esteem. The joke, I remember watching the show Entourage. I'm going to go find me a girl with low self-esteem, which means she'll have sex with me. People with low self-esteem, and no self-concept, they're on there. It's like if you look on Instagram or TikTok, I call it Tic Tac. Some of the insanity I see on TikTok, it's just craziness of what people do for attention. OnlyFans is the same thing. I know back in the 80s, I got offered opportunities to be in the adult industry. I know looking at me now, you'd be like, what? Who would pay? I know. I got it. I got older. Once upon a time, I was actually in really good shape. And I got my offers to do it. And I looked at longevity as far as what would my life be like later. If I make this decision, then I made some other decision. It snowballs. And then I decided I like sex too much to do it for money. And same reason why I don't work at Krispy Kreme. I used to like donuts. I don't anymore. But I didn't want to mix an activity I really enjoyed, because most people, and I've had multiple girlfriends from that industry, end up not wanting to do certain aspects of life when they get out of it, which I understand. I understand what the industry is really like. It's all make-believe, guys. It's not real. Those are scripts. Keep that in mind. But that was a good decision I made. Now, a lot of people get into this industry because they don't have any direction. They have no foundation. They don't know who they are. They're painfully insecure, and they think this is going to do it. And it's not. It's very hollow and unfulfilling. And I've had to sit with multiple people that were famous in that industry and watch them cry and talk about everything. Where's that come from? Dad not being dad not being a father not there. A lot of these girls were sexually abused by their fathers. It's really sad. I told somebody one time, 80% of the girls I ever dated were sexually abused either by their father, their uncle, or their brother. 80%. I did a count of the girls I could remember. I can't remember everything, so so I could remember some. Well, that stopped with my wife because, my wife had her traditional growing up. None of those things, right? So father was a banker and boring. But it's our job to instill those things. They should feel in all five senses every single day love, peace, joy, especially peace. Most kids can't lay down these days and have any peace. I know I didn't. When I was in high school, I slept with a pistol underneath my pillow. Dad was gone. Mom was bringing people home every night. It was craziness. I ended up sticking a gun in a guy's mouth and begged him to make me pull the trigger. And then I stuck it in her mouth. I finally snapped. I couldn't take it anymore. And that's when I started working for Satan. And when you have to sleep with a gun every night, that changes your perspective in life. Kids shouldn't have to do that. They should feel safe and warm and know who they are and be able to depend on what life is going to be like from day to day. Chaos doesn't help anybody. Confusion doesn't help anybody unless it's Satan. You have to really choose. You have to live for God or live for Satan. Which one are you going to work for? Because you're raising your kids to work for one or the other. And right now, if you look around society with the murder rate right now, 130 people have died in Chicago this year so far. Failure of leadership in government, failure of fathers. And that number is just going to grow. We still have several more months left in 2026. What are we going to do with it? So you have these meetings to draw out what kids can do in life. Tell kids, here's the thing. Never tell a kid it can't be done because God's just waiting on somebody stupid enough to try. But let them try it. Elon Musk is now a trillionaire. Why? Well, if you play back, look at the photos from 2010 when he was flat broke. He thought his companies were going under, SpaceX and Tesla. There's a photo, I saw it on Instagram yesterday, of him picking up pieces of a rocket that had just exploded. And now SpaceX had an IPO. What changed? He didn't stop. See, people want to pile on, he's the rich. Well, he should be. A guy who takes all the risks should get the money. Now, if you have any questions, our website's up. ScotFerrell.com is how you reach me. Remember, there's two Scot Ferrells. One does hockey, and people yell profanity at him, and I'm the other one. Don't misjudge me to being the other one. He spells his name differently than me. Also, you can go to any of the social media sites. That's how you pick our show up, from Rumble to Instagram to TikTok to Facebook to Truth Social. We're on all of them, YouTube. Please also like and subscribe on whatever channel you're on. It helps us get up in the ratings. Everybody tells you that. But we do appreciate it. It allows us to keep the show going. But if you have any questions, you can always email me, ScotFerrell.com. If you want to get mailbag questions sent to me, it's show@ScotFerrell.com, and you can send those to me. They're the ones I read out here in just a second. But I want to put a bow on this. Being a father is about return on investment. What is your return on investment from raising your kids? Profit and loss is measured in love. If you take away love, there's a loss. If you give love, there's a plus. You get a profit from loving your kids, allowing them to grow up in a home full of peace and comfort and joy, and allowing them to be very optimistic about the future, not teaching them hate, but teaching them love themselves, and to love other people. The people that hate themselves. Always remember, someone who's full of venom, in your face, screaming at you, hates who they are. And a lot of times they're not even yelling at you. They're yelling at the past. They're yelling at this. They're yelling at that. Carmelo Anthony trial showed you that. His parents are morons, and they taught him to be a despicable moron, and they taught him that it was okay to go around and stab people. That behavior is learned. That behavior he just didn't get up and do one day. He was taught hate from an early age, and then he went out and displayed it, and now he's going to spend the rest of his life, for the most part, in prison. All right, let me go ahead and get to the mailbag. Hopefully this helped with that. I'll get to the mailbag, and remember, if you have any questions for me, it's show@ScotFerrell.com, or if you just want to go by the website, if you need help, I do have a consulting company. We help companies and we help individuals solve problems. That's what we do. We're problem solvers. ScotFerrell.com is how you reach me there. All right. Brought the phone today. Got the first question. Let me get it up. All right. First question of today comes from Raleigh, North Carolina. Her name is Lauren. My kids want to move out. What do I do? It's a short one. All right. What do I do if the kids want to move out? Let them. Hey, man, we knew that we didn't realize we had so much extra money when our kids moved out. Wow, do you discover a whole bunch of money you didn't realize you had? I know what she's asking. Moms sometimes have a harder time with this than dads. Not always, though. Dad doesn't want baby girl to leave normally. There comes a time, mom, dad, that kids want to leave home. It's called being an adult. It's called going out, getting a job, and living your life. Let them. They're going to make mistakes. You can't protect them 24/7. I know what it's like to lay at home and wait on the phone. I got all that. I'm a father myself. But eventually you have to let them be adults. Don't hang on to them. Here's the thing. Did I just not go over this? It's our job as parents to get our kids ready to leave home by the age of 18 and have everything in their toolbox that they need to be successful. If we help them with their self-concept, who they are, understand who God is, why they were created, what their purpose is on this planet, it's our job to let them loose to go and display those skills to the world. That's our job. So why won't we let them do it? You've worked that hard to get them there. Let them go. Now, help them get the right apartment. Help them figure out how to get movers. Although normally, when you move out of mom and dad's house, you don't need a mover because you don't have anything. So that'll be the next time when they go get the furniture. So teach them how to buy furniture and teach them how to do all these things so they can be adults. Remember, they're going to raise your grandkids. Hopefully, they're in a position emotionally and spiritually, physically, and financially to where they're ready for the step. So let them go. All right, next one. Hopefully that helped. Mailbag is show@scotferrell.com. Next one. Oh, boy. My daughter's graduated, and this is her first year at college. I'm really struggling with her leaving. There we go. There's the dad. Here's the theme here. I got this one this week, actually. I'm not going to use the real name. I'm going to call him Stan. And this individual is from Rome, Georgia. Okay. Baby girl's graduated. Guys struggle with this. I know I would. Baby girl's getting ready to go to college. I remember my wife telling the story when her father dropped her off at the University of Georgia. I think he stood there and cried, and then he cried all the way home, and then he kept crying. Why? Because his baby just left. A lot of guys see their babies as their baby, and they never get any older. We don't want them to get any older because then they start to like boys, and then it really messes up the whole party because we are their whole world. Same thing here. I tell dads all the time, teach that baby girl who she is in Christ, what her gifts and dreams are, and what's possible, and they help her get there. And you teach her, see, she's going to find a man who's like you. Were you a good man? Were you the ideal candidate to marry your daughter? Did you show her love? Did you show her respect? Did you protect her? Did you take care of her? Did you financially support her? Are you everything you ever wanted her to meet in a man? Because baby girls will marry their father. Now, my wife did, and I'm nothing like my father-in-law. Nothing like my father-in-law. But normally, first marriage, they're going to marry their dad. Are you a good enough man right now to say, I'm very confident she can marry a man like me because what I did was form the foundation for her to go be loved? Did you? I'm not seeing that a lot in society now. I'm not seeing men be that parent, be that guardian, building that foundation for little girls or little boys. But when they go to college, it's hands off. We don't have anything else to do with them. You'll see them at the end of the term when they come home and get their laundry done or when they need money or when they're hungry. But a lot of times when we drop them off on that campus, that's it. And you also understand that when you drop them off on that campus, that's it. That's the last time they'll be under your roof, barring something catastrophic, for the rest of their lives. Now, I've got friends that had their kids stay with them while they were unemployed. That's not what I'm talking about. That was with husband and child. That's different. When you got your grandkids around, you're very happy about that, so you don't want them to leave. But hug her, kiss her, tell her you love her. Not much else you can do. And you hope that she'll text and call, but they get there and they start to live life and they forget that you have a phone number and they don't check in the way they did. And you hope that you've raised them well enough to where when they get on that campus, they don't go nuts, start drinking, doing drugs, chasing boys. They go there for the education they're supposed to, still have some fun. But they get the education they want. I think about my wife. My wife didn't go nuts. She's a tri-delt from Georgia. She had the idyllic college experience. I didn't. I had to work my way through college while I had a full-time job and took school full-time every summer, every weekend for 4 years. But my wife had the ideal college experience, and I was kind of envious. I was like, man, that would have been great. But she was ready to go, ready to be responsible. She was in a great sorority that honors grades and respectability, and she was an honor student, and it's gone on to be very successful in the world of writing. So she was ready to go. That's what you got to do for your daughter. Just tell her you love her, support her, be ready for phone calls when she's crying, be ready to tell her you love her, be ready to tell her everything's going to be okay. And then when she comes home for vacation, love her, hug her, kiss her, enjoy her, and let her go be a woman. Because eventually she's going to bring that boy home from college, and that boy's going to help her reproduce your grandchildren. And that's wonderful. So you've got that to look forward to. How in the world did I go from college to grandkids? Well, that's normally what happens. How many people do we know, especially from my generation? They met their spouse at college, got married, and still have kids. Some of my friends have great grandkids. So it is what you make out of it. All right, don't have time for another question. Hopefully today helped. Hopefully today got some men thinking, okay, Father's Day, Father. Am I being the father that I need to be? Do I have things I need to improve? We all do. We can all get better every single day. That's not the problem. Am I being who I need to be on a daily basis for my kids to be able to grow into who they want to be? That's the question. Am I being the husband I need to my wife? Am I being the father I need? Am I being the boss I need to be? Am I being the man in the community I need to be? Only you can answer that question. It's you. Now, we'll be tackling stuff like this on the show from time to time. I don't think I did a Mother's Day show. That's cool. But I needed to handle fathers. After Carmelo Anthony's father did that press conference, I knew I needed to address fathers. All right. So do me a favor this week as we start to sign off. Tell somebody how much you love them, how much they mean to you, how much you value them, and how much time you want to spend with them. And guys, start with your wife. That's always a good place to do it. All right. I'm Scot Ferrell. Thanks so much for stopping by. See you.